Hello friends. Welcome to my new JPA, Hibernate programming tutorial series video. In this tutorial, we will discuss about how to use enum types by @enumerated annotation in Hibernate using JPA. Let's move ahead. Friends, let's discuss what are enumerations in Java. Enumerations were introduced with Java 5. Enumerations are constant values that have an implicit ordinal value associated with it. These ordinal values are assigned to each constant based on the order in which constants are declared. Enumerations can also be stored into database based on either ordinal value or constant value. Enumerations can be persisted into database by using @enumerated annotation in entities. Moving ahead. Let's create an enum type, say, role. Role is a enum type. It has 4 enum constants with implicit ordinal value associated with it. 0 for role developer. 1 for role tester. 2 for role manager. 3 for role HR. Moving ahead. Persistence.xml file used in this example must have following properties, as mentioned in the slide. Friends, you can watch my complete video on Persistence.xml. In this tutorial we can skip explaining the Persistence.xml. Only property to mention is Hibernate.hbm2ddl.auto, having value as create. This property signifies that, whenever we run application, it should delete previous schema and table, and create new table based on the persist method call. Moving ahead. Let's create an entity by name employee. Create an property by name employee ID, having @ID, and generated value over it. It will act as a primary key in database. Create a property in it by name employee name. In order to use enum types in entity, say, role in our case, we create a role type as a property in employee. This property will have @enumerated over it. In this case, @enumerated annotation takes in value for enum type as ordinal. It is default value which @enumerated holds for enum type. Here, enum type is ordinal, which signifies that role will be persisted into database, with the ordinal value. Moving ahead. Another enum type value for @enumerated type is Enum Type.STRING. It signifies that role will be persisted in the database, with the enum value rather than ordinal value. Moving ahead. Let's create test class for providing demo for enumerations by using @enumerated. Let's discuss the code point by point. Number 1, create a employee instance having employee name as John Smith. Moving ahead. Number 2, create a instance for enum type role, taking in enum value as developer. Moving ahead. Number 3, set role 1 created above into employee role property of employee. Moving ahead. Number 4, let's call persist method of entity manager to persist employee instance. This will create a table employee in database having employee ID, employee name and employee role as columns into it. Friends, for rest of code working you can refer my previous tutorials on JPA. Moving ahead. Let's check database for table employee and run a select query on it, as shown in figure. In case where we use @enumerated, enum type as ordinal, the value for employee role in database takes implicit ordinal value. In our first case it takes employee role value for developer as 0. In case where we use @enumerated, enum type as string, the value for employee role in database takes enum type value. In our second case it takes employee role value for developer as developer. Moving ahead. So friends, this was the tutorial on how to use enum types by @enumerated annotation in Hibernate using JPA. So friends, go through this video 2 to 3 times so that saving enum type by @enumerated annotation concept in JPA gets more clear to you. Hope you like this video. Please give 1 minute to like, share, comment or subscribe my channel, or you can visit my website at www.hubberspot.com.